TempestMask1000, and if you all can hear me, we're about to get some Megaman action going on right here. It's nice to be here with you all at Green Gaming today. This is my first time doing one of these events, so I'm very happy to show off what is indeed my first ever speed game. This is Megaman Xtreme 2, also known, if I could just get the title screen to pop up, Rockman X2 Solar Racer in Japan. And so this game is a Game Boy Color title released for the X franchise around 2001 as a sequel to the first Xtreme, and a game that comes out before the not-so-well-liked Mega Man X6. But this is a really cool game. It shows a side of X that not many people have seen before, and yeah, with that, I am joined by a very active runner of this game, the wonderful Rose Zorn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rose Zorn. I recently just got back into this game like a couple of months ago, and I've been running it non-stop. I've pretty much ran most of the categories, including a category that nobody's run except for me. And I also have the world record for the extreme any percent category. So that's basically me.
Heck yeah. I gotta say, when we say any percent extreme, by the way, that category, for those that are familiar with that run, has changed quite a bit in recent times. So needless to say, this game has gone through quite a bit of interesting discoveries. But today I'll be doing the any percent X mission category, which will at least show most of the game's content, but also sort of half the game's content. We'll talk about that when we do, but before I get into it, I might as well just show off the options, as this is tradition. So for this particular run, I'm going to set my select button function to changing X's weapon, and then we have rapid fire turned on and auto charge turned off. That's all you really need to know, so without further ado, let's get down to it. Zorn, count me down.
Will do. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so this game takes place in between the events of Mega Man X3 and X4, hence why you're currently seeing Iris showing up. She is alive and well at the time of this game and is actually getting acquainted as a sort of temp position here in the Maverick Hunter base. Still technically associated with the Repliforce, of course, and it's actually sort of brought up, at least, that was not fast, at least at the end of the true ending. But for now, we're just going to show off a portion of this game that you are technically required to play along with the Zero mission in order to unlock the full game category, because that's just something that Capcom here did to add a bit of replayability value to this game on the whole. But yeah, just give me a moment, because in this game, unlike X titles prior, there is no dedicated dash button, which means the only options I have are by way of double tapping, which is something that, if you are familiar with X speedrunning, then you would, or just X gameplay in general, that is something that is present within other X games. But then there's also something a little more unique to this, where you have to press the jump button while holding down. That type of dash is actually a bit effective in certain cases that will come into the late game portion of this run. But here is Skullhead. I like to call him Mega Skeletor because he reminds me of the He-Man villain undergoing Mega Evolution from Pokemon X and Y. That said, that's the intro stage. There's actually two different paths depending on who you're playing as, whether it be X or Zero. And X's is generally faster, but also it makes the boss fight a little more comfortable for the eyes, because if I were to hit the head with a charge shot, or if I were to use Zero's saber, the screen would flash to show damage frames, which, by the way, that is a bit of a constant with this game being sort of one of those sort of games, if you will. So if you do have a bit of brightness sensitivity issue, or might be prone to epileptic seizures, do please watch with caution. The good news is that this category is not where the flashing is absolutely at its worst. We actually do not get to see that portion in particular, but it is still a concern worth mentioning just to be on the safe side. Now, I cannot skip cutscenes, which is why the best I can do is just scroll through the text, and the Japanese version does save at least a minute or two's worth of time because of that. But yeah, we're moving on to Neon Tiger, and I will let Zorn take it away with some details about this game.
All right, so one of the things to mention is so this first and foremost is a sequel to the first Mega Man Xtreme game. It actually chronologically happens in between X2 and or not X2 and X3. That's the first one.
X2 and X3 is the first one. I did mention X3 and X4, hence Iris.
Yeah. This came out in between the release of the first Xtreme game and X6, which it actually was mentioned in X6. There's a secret cutscene where Aelia mentions the Solar Erasure incident.
Butterfingers.
Oh yeah, that turret in particular is so. I hate it so much.
Same. Oh well. I think they're called Cannondums, which is an enemy name that carries over to the canon enemies in the Battle Network series. Now I can understand why.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. This is an X game through and through. The momentum can be very slippery. Oh, that's a bit dangerous. There we go. Whew.
Oh, so close. Ooh.
I think the rust is trying to show.
Yeah. So here's these ride armors right here. So the ride armors, they essentially act the same way that they do in X2 and X3, as well as X1.
Oh, come on! I was trying to get the health. Those enemies are jerks.
Yikes! Yeah, they are.
Continue.
But yeah, the ride armors, they act the same way as they do in X1 and X2. You can hover with them. You can dash with them, but only, as mentioned before, the double tap dashing, as well as I don't think you mentioned the slide dashing actually.
I did. The down A dash.
Yeah, that. Those are the only two ways that you can. But yeah, here's Neon Tiger, which So basically, the reason why Tempest has auto charge and rapid fire off is actually because
rapid fire on.
That's what I meant. My bad. But the reason he has it off is because the Buster shots are so friggin' broken. They deal the same amount of damage as a charge shot does for whatever reason.
On bosses, anyway. On enemies, there is a bit of a difference. It's hard to recognize considering that we're only really concerning ourselves with bosses for the most part, but yeah.
Yeah. Nice. There's actually a quick kill that you can do for Neon Tiger, but you can only do that in 2 categories where it would be optimal. And you can't do it in this one because it involves a weapon that X cannot get in X mission, but oh well. Anyway, alright, so now we're going to Volt Catfish, which, Volt Catfish actually has an item that you literally need in order to progress in, any of the categories except for Zero Mission. Which I'll talk about a little bit more later. But yeah, this is Volt Catfish's stage. Now, you might be saying, oh hey, this looks more like Toxic Seahorse's stage, which you would be correct. The last stage also looked a little bit more like Sting Chameleon's stage. Basically, Xtreme 2 did something completely different than what Xtreme 1 did, where Xtreme 1 just demade a lot of those stages. This one decided to shake it up a little and decided to remix the stages instead, and also add a little bit more uniqueness to it, if you will.
Yeah, at least such is indeed the case for any stages that are not X1 Mavericks, which, by the way, also brings up an interesting difference point between X and Zero Mission in that X faces 2 X3 bosses and 2 X1 bosses, Zero faces 2 X3 bosses and 2 X2 bosses.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting that one faces the one. Nah, never mind.
I get you.
Yeah, I think you guys know what I was trying to get at, but
So we acquired the leg armor part that was, as Zoran alluded to, is going to be very necessary for the later portion of the game. Whoa! Oh, come on!
Oh, damn! All right, that's
fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can do that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So maybe we should take this quick moment to mention the autosave system.
Yeah, so basically every checkpoint in the game, well, a majority of them, essentially they will autosave your game, and then if you like power off the Game Boy / reset your emulator, essentially what will
close, but not.
Essentially what it will do is it will just autosave your progress, and then you can just continue like that. You can just go to the continue, and then they'll ask, hey, there's autosave data. Do you want to reload it? And you can just press yes, but you can only reload it once, which is kind of crappy.
It is what it is, though. I see what they're trying to go for. At least I'm pretty sure I can understand like the whole intent behind the system. It's also present in Xtreme 1, but in that game you have to actually go through the checkpoints, and you even see these literal loading screens. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. By the way, this is probably the easiest boss in the game, in my opinion, or at least an X mission.
I would agree on X mission.
Extreme, every boss is the same difficulty for the most part, but this one is like super easy. So this is Volt Catfish, and essentially, well, there's not really much to talk about with him in X mission because Rayclaw just kind of disables him completely, so...
Delete!
Yeah, Volt Catfish is kind of like the only fight in this game that's like that, though. At least in this category, I mean.
Well, the thing that's interesting about weapon weaknesses is that when you use them as X, they will get the stun animation out of a boss, but in Zero's case, that's not present whatsoever. So it's kind of funny how there are these two different variances, if you will. And you would think that they would try to have a weakness reaction for Zero, but I guess they just wanted to make that one a little more challenging, which I can kind of understand. But yeah, no, those little small details and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, by the way, so this stage is literally impossible to optimize, which I'll talk about a little later. Hey, wait, hold on. There's a little bit of an audio issue right now. It's playing Flame Mammoth's audio right now instead of launch audio.
Yeah, so about that, this Japanese version of the game is optimal, but it does come with that little quirk that Capcom somehow lets slip through the cracks. So the thing about that is it does get fixed in every other release of the game. So North American and European has it normal, but again, this is a lot more optimal, so it's just a silly little quirk that hardly makes much of a difference, and that was actually a very interesting progression. That Blowfish usually catches me, but that felt faster when I skipped over him like that, huh?
Yeah, same here. Also going back to the Japanese exclusive quirks and issues, that's actually not even the craziest one that's in this game.
Oh yeah, the reason why any percent Extreme category changed. Yeah, go ahead.
So for whatever reason, in the boss rush, which is only in extreme mode, if you press exit after you go into a boss arena, then you just go to the credits for whatever reason.
Yeah, we didn't even think that a credits warp was possible, but here you go. And the reason for that is because the data of the game just assumes that when you leave the boss rush, you're just going straight to the next level of the game, which by that point is the credits room. It's kind of just how it's programmed. I don't know what happened there, but...
Fixed it in the US releases.
Yeah, that's true. Not present in any other version.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to do Launch Octopus, which is a little bit more challenging, but he's still really funny to fight.
Who's up for some calamari?
I am!
Alright, so I'm going to use the Rayclaw, and it's going to trigger a similar reaction as to if you use the Boomerang Cutter from Kawanger on Octopus, where his tentacles are going to go bye-bye, and I'm going to use this opportunity to then hit him with the Tri-Thunder, which is his weakness. This boss actually does not have a weakness reaction, though. I just realized that. Oh, wait, hang on. He's giving me a bit of trouble. Ah, come on!
Damn, alright. Yeah, it's funny because the weapon that isn't his weakness, he does have a reaction to, but the weapon that is his weakness, he doesn't.
The thing about him that becomes problematic in X Mission is that the stun animation in every other category is something you can exploit to then just kill him super duper fast. But in X Mission, that's always not going to be the case. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is, and yet, admittedly, I had a little too much of a health deficiency that, unfortunately, that just kind of botched up there. So, you know what? It is what it is. That wasn't too bad, though. That's the Utuboros mini-boss, by the way. You might recognize him from playing the actual level, and yes, there is two. We just don't bother with that second one, because all it's guarding is a armor capsule that I really don't need.
Well, you may need it because... Yeah, never mind, that's mean.
Nah, we're good.
Hey.
Alright, let's try that again. Gonna be a little bit more careful with the missiles. Yeah, there we go.
What you could probably do is like do a similar thing that the X runners do with Armored Armadillo's fight, where they press attack like twice just in case the first one doesn't actually hit him. But what do I know?
I mean, it's a thought. So. Yeah. The thing about the weapon screen text that we should probably explain right now is that there is a little thing called fast text, and how that works is we don't actually know how that works. So
I would imagine the day somebody asks like hey, I was looking at Poisson's run and I noticed that the text was accelerating really fast at some parts. Is there a reason for that? And it's just like, yeah, that's the funny part. We don't we don't know why.
The thing about the weapon screen text is that I'm not supposed to be able to scroll it, but there are circumstances where it'll just scroll fast on its own. And one theory that the world record holder of the 100% extreme category focus site came up with is that it's likely a buffered input from taking damage when you defeat a boss. But I think I've seen it where that's not necessarily the case. I like to think that it's probably the A button input, or just any button that would normally make the text scroll fast, and so that it somehow slips into a very brief input period that the game just thinks, let's scroll the text anyway, but who knows? What we do know, though, is Flame Mammoth here likes to remind us if he is an elephant. Let's see if he does that. And that's 1, 2... and 3.
Nice. I remember I always struggled with that fight so much back when I ran this game on 3DS, but now it's like super easy.
Shout out to Megaman X1 Runner Clipper, by the way, for that. The I'm an elephant joke, that is, not the discovery. Also, how the heck did that gold split? I think that's probably just an average segment thing, but that wasn't supposed to happen, I don't think.
I don't know. Actually, did you forget to split at some point?
No. We're in order. We are in order.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so. All right, now that cutscene is actually much longer in any % extreme mode, or any % X mission.
Any % X mission and zero mission, yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, hey, Tempest, I think it's a good idea to take a safety, just in case.
Oh, true. Thank you for reminding me that, yeah. I've been on 0 lives a little too long, that's definitely... I always do that whenever I get to this point. Whatever. My mind was going a mile a minute. It is what it is.
Yeah. I noticed that you didn't do that, and I was kind of just like, hey, dude, you good?
Whoops! And there we go.
Yep.
Butterfingers. That's the real Butterfingers right there. So,
that's not even Butterfingers. It's the game hating you.
Nah, I don't know. I like to call it Butterfingers because impatience. I'm going too fast to keep myself in control, but I'm pretty sure that also had to do with Zero's hitbox. I think I was told it's a little bit higher than X's anyway.
I actually believe that. I actually believe that because of the Zip and Hornet that's completely useless.
Oh yeah, Zorn discovered a soft lock.
Yeah, it's not even like the only soft lock method either, but yeah, for some reason the scramble change does some weird stuff with your collision and you can zip with that, but there's nowhere where that actually matters.
That's actually why the reason the cutscene is, whoa, no, thank you.
All right.
Let's stop having some last minute scares here for the rest of the run. Thank you.
Please.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna try this, but I am a little low on health. But hey, boss corridors count as checkpoints, just not ones that you can autosave off of. But
Thankfully, you have 1 extra life left.
yeah, I am a little concerned though. He likes to move whenever he just decides to. Okay.
This is this is Sigma's guard dog. Wonder why he's here.
That's a good question. There we go. Let's go, clutch.
I'm sure this isn't like the other 5,000 Mega Man X games where Sigma ended up being the twisted villain. No, totally not.
Nope.
Oh yeah, this stage. I remember this. I hate this stage.
It's a casual bane for a lot of new players. We're gonna do something quick though, called the platform skip. All right, first, second, and just a little too short.
Damn.
So that trick is a combination of damage boosts that makes use of. I'm almost thinking of taking a safety as well here.
Yeah, probably a good idea actually.
Okay, so that electric floor is obviously instant kill, but the idea is that the moving platform is also pretty slow, so we just take the middle ground and use a couple of damage boosts off the bats to then make the way across, and this is it's actually a combination of 2 different types of dashes. There we go. The first type was the double tap, but then I actually use the down A dash because the way that works is you stop dashing the moment you let go of the jump button. So, as compared to the double tap dashing, it allows us to keep control of our speed, and then the moment we need to let go, we can, so that we can get the jump going before the iframes wear off. It's a pretty nice little time save, and this run is not at all trick heavy. It's very simple to get, but any tricks that we can pull off are pretty swag, not gonna lie.
I honestly really like that the X mission category is like the most is actually the most beginner friendly, except for this boss.
You could say that about any category, well, casually speaking though, because yeah, this guy is colloquially referred to by those who've played it as the Sphinx tank. The canonical name is Isaz and Sawilo. This is a 2-headed giant mechanoloid tank that for some reason bears the facial structure of Sigma. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe just architectural design, because Mavericks share absolutely bland taste, probably. Oh, right, I only get 1 because I don't get that part in this category, right? Anyway.
I actually got that part in my last run, but that was more of a safety thing.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Nice! First try.
Good job. Good job. That fight's actually pretty easy for me now, to the point where I can actually do the Poisson strat, but that fight is so stupid for beginners. I don't even know why Capcom put it in this game. It's too big for a friggin' what is this, at like 10:9?
Yeah, it's a Game Boy and Game Boy Color games were 10:9 screen ratio by technicality.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the final stage. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, so the main villain of this is Bracana, which is actually pretty cool because she's like the only other female X-villain, aside from, what was that character's name in Command Mission? I didn't beat Command Mission. Ferrum
was a lot more. They tried to portray Ferrum as a bit more of a sympathetic character, though, as compared to Bracana, who is all for her own gain and is just all for trying to like have her own way with the world. So there's a bit of a stark difference. I do respect both characters, but yeah, I personally love Bracana, and her witch design is just so rad.
I love it so much too. I've never even seen what Ferrum looks like, actually. Mostly because I never beat Command Mission.
She's kind of like a harpy lady, if I had to put it.
That's fair. Oh yeah, this is the reason why the boots are literally needed for this. Alright, so right here. So you see this platform, right? See how Tempest had to air dash upwards into it? You cannot get past this part without the boots.
I just don't even know what they were thinking. Like, I get it, trying to get armor parts is pretty rad and all, and in X1 you had to get the dash boots because there was no way you couldn't. But, geez, this is just...
Was Capcom trying to bring back the old thing that like NES games did, where you had to find like a really cryptic item in order to?
I don't know about that one. She's obviously talking about the Mega Man 1 Magnet Beam, but we're coming up to the Bracana fight, and this will actually be the final boss of this run. So time will begin once she runs out of health, and. Yeah, she likes to use the alphabet against us. She'll throw these A and B spheres at me. I can destroy them, but I also just don't want to have to care about them too much. But if I do get hit, she'll turn either the floor or the walls into spikes, and that button gets locked for a limited period of time. Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, and the B button, the B's like fly towards you, and the A's are more like bouncy balls.
Exactly. Oh hey, spike ball, that's a little rare one. Time!
Time, yeah!
The 23.44. So that's not a PB, but it's definitely close to the estimate, which I did submit a 24 just in case the worst happens. And there were quite a bit of bad things that happened, but honestly, I still appreciate the fact that I was able to keep it under, and all things considered, that was... 23 is by no means a bad time for this category, not at all.
Yeah, a 23 is a 23 is a pretty solid time for anybody, like, for anybody who isn't like shooting for top times like I am, which is probably not the best, but whatever. But yeah, that was Mega Man Xtreme 2 X Mission Any %, which is honestly a pretty fun category in my opinion.
I agree.
Very good for beginners, except for the second to last boss.
And you gotta fight him no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to give this game a try, I will say that it is available on the 3DS eShop, but yeah, we'll have to see if Nintendo does the impossible and actually decides to let it stay existing by March of next year. So, admittedly, that it's a bit of a morbid thing to say, but yeah, y'all, it is what it is. But Nintendo, if you're for some reason hearing this, please consider not doing that. You've got a lot of titles you'd be putting to waste. But yeah,
or you could just hack your 3DS, or.
But I'm not all for that, and they don't like it either. Anyway.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
All right, but anyway, though, this game is super fun to play, and I would highly recommend that if you're interested in giving this a run, feel free to come to us on the Mega Man X Speedrunning Community Discord. Our link is available at the Mega Man RTA Leaderboard website, where there's a page that has access to all the different community servers within that sphere of speedrunning. And just come say hi to us at the handheld section. This game just means a lot to me, and I'm always happy to show it off. But with that said, Zorn, where can these wonderful viewers find you?
So I first off have a YouTube channel, which is just called Rose Zorn, and I also have I have a Twitch channel. I have a Twitch channel, which is also just Rose Zorn. Or if you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at Rose Zorn. No, of course. But yeah, that's basically where you can find me. I'm not exact. I mostly just retweet and like stuff on Twitter. I do post a lot of runs of this game on my YouTube channel, which is probably like what I've been mostly uploading on there these days. I also have a lot. I'm also currently making a Xtreme 2 in 1 documentation. So yeah, but yeah, that's where you can find me. Anyway, is there anything else?
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me, I am TempestMask1000 here on Twitch and YouTube, and I also got a Twitter at It'sTempestSteve, where I post any updates or plans to stream, because I do not have a static stream schedule. But thank you very much to Green Gaming for having me, and let's keep on raising some money, because we gotta get that. We gotta hit that goal, you know? I'm all for hitting goals. And hey, I understand you can also contribute to the cause by buying their merch, so yeah, definitely consider doing so. And just shout out to the color green.